welcome back to my Chronically Cozy Life and the third episode of my Cozy Chat series, which I'm so excited about. Last week, I had a fantastic conversation with a woman in Brisbane, Australia, talking about money mindset. And today, I have an equally amazing and useful conversation with my new friend Amy here, who also helps creative entrepreneurs work on their customer management system. I always like stumble over saying that. It's a mouthful. No more mouthful than all the things I do. So, Amy, welcome to my little podcast show here. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for inviting me, Randy. I'm excited to be a part of this and get to talk to you today about all the things.
Yay! I'm super excited about this is going to be really I think this is going to be really useful for anyone watching because customer management systems are a really useful thing for people who are a little extra tired, a little extra forgetful for sure. Um, and you work with two of the biggest systems that I've heard of. And I thought that that was really neat, and I'm so excited to talk about and compare them. So please tell me about your business.
Absolutely. Yeah, I help creative business owners work less, make more, and wow clients using Dubsado and Honeybook. And I really love to focus on automation and client experience and creating that sort of incredible client experience without having to do it all by hand and take up a lot of brain space and energy, because I know I personally just don't have it, and a lot of people that I work with are really tired, burnt out, and just very tired of trying to do all the things and juggle all the things that we have to juggle as business owners. So this is one way that you can take things off your plate without having to hire a team member or do those other things. You basically hire a electronic team member.
Super useful. I've heard so many good things, and I know for the most part it's like often price that holds people back, but it's also that they are somewhat complicated systems. So having somebody to set them up for you seems very useful.
Yeah, it's really helpful because, like, obviously I'm really familiar with the systems and how to set them up. And also, it's great because we get on a call and talk through all of their client experience and how they run their business. And then I help translate that into how the system works. So they don't have to spend all the time Googling things and figuring it out for themselves, which is a real pain sometimes.
It's a lot. I hear all the time, and like even just when like I'm inviting people to come to my Discord group, they're like, "Oh my gosh, I do not need another app." Like if they don't already use it, like I don't need another app. I don't need to try and like learn another program. And I feel that. I love
True.
learning different systems, and I think that I'm fairly good at it. Like I haven't met a software that I haven't figured out yet. Um, but man, sometimes just the idea of like learning to another one is
Oh
a
my gosh,
lot.
I could not agree with you more. As someone who loves tech and systems, I get kind of bogged down in the whole, oh, I'll just learn how to do it. It'll be no problem. I'll pick this tool up and do it
Yeah.
and use it in my business. But the thing that I always forget is there is a learning curve on all of them. And so learning how to use that tool takes up more time and mental energy than just like, oh, I'm going to switch to this and use this as my project management tool instead
Yeah.
of the other one. It really takes an investment of time and brain power to figure all that out and translate how you're going to do things into the new tools. And yeah, and new apps, same
Yeah.
thing.
Honestly, for me right now, I'm like, I use Google for most things. Like, I use Google Docs and I use my Google email, and like, I have it kind of like, pulled together with everything, just like I'm assuming what you tell people not to do. Um, And it's working for me. So maybe you can sell me on making the switch here. But before we get into that, before we get into the comparison of the two, tell me about how you started your business. How'd you get into it?
That is pretty interesting. So I back in 2020, I was working in human resources. I was a benefits administrator, and I also we had an HRAS system, which is employee database and manages all the clocks and all the things. And I personally just hate repetitive tasks and figured out how to get into the back end of the tech and make it run my reports for me and automatically send them to people, which is how I ended up getting pulled into building two systems for the company, or helping to bring on board two of those types of systems. Well, COVID happened, and they downscaled everyone, and human resources follows suit. So I wasn't really shocked when my position was eliminated, but I really wasn't sure how to go about finding a job when no one was interviewing in person.
Yeah.
And, this is before I knew about all the things like Google Meet, Zoom, and stuff like that. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to go to work right now or interview for a job when no one's bringing people in. And just happened to see an ad for a VA course, and I said, hey, I'm pretty good with admin and tech and stuff. Let me go do some VA work and maybe work from home for a little bit and just kind of see what happens. And a few pivots later, and learning about all the things you can do as a VA, I pivoted a few times, and I was getting kind of annoyed with the pivoting, and then realized, the thing that I love to do is the tech and automation. And I've had Dubsado pretty much since I started my business, because in the course, they said, you need a way to get contracts signed, and Dubsado does that. And you need a way to have invoices paid, and Dubsado does that. And collect all the client information in one place. And oh, by the way, Dubsado does that. And you can send a proposal and they can choose their packages. Dubsado does that. And I'm like, okay, so I could have all of these tools or that one. I think I'll get that one. And the more I talk to people, the more I realized that a lot of people really struggle with figuring out how to set it all up and map out a client experience, which is something that I'm really good at and really enjoy doing, is mapping it out, how it's all going to work, and thinking things through like that. It's a lot of fun.
It's such a skill to be able to do that, to be able to think through the whole process and see that big picture. It's not one that I always have.
Honestly, a lot of the time I have to rein people in and really steer that conversation. Be like, gosh, okay, so back to this. What happens after they sign the contract or pay the invoice? Okay, and then what happens? And
because
then what happens after that?
So many ideas, and okay, well, they could do this or they could do this, and
yeah, and you have to kind of go, okay, let's weave all of these things together and either come up with solutions or understand how you're going to have to change your process to make it less complicated, so that it's not running like spaghetti strands everywhere.
Yeah.
Which I have seen quite a bit, that it's just really, really complicated, and we need to kind of take a look at everything and go, okay, how can we simplify this? How can we not have so many things?
Yeah. Simplify as much as possible. That is the key to running the perfect little cozy business, for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm all about simplifying. It's actually been something I've very much been focusing on.
Yeah. So I'm assuming especially, oh, I shook my computer there. So I know that simplifying is really important for you because you also live with a chronic illness, which I learned about when you wrote a nice little guest post for me, which will be linked below. And P.S., you can write guest posts and share them with our community, which is super fun. You have, what was it, Hashimoto's?
Yeah, Hashimoto's hypothyroidism.
How long have you been dealing with that one?
I want to say it's been 10 years.
Yeah.
And I honestly didn't realize all of the things that it impacted at first.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, you have low thyroid, here's some medication. And, nobody educates you or
Yeah.
explains anything. They're just like, take the medication and come back and we'll check it again and see if we need to adjust it. But it really does impact like a lot of things. And
yeah,
you have to kind of figure that out.
So what are some of the ways that you've had to like adapt, running your own business around having your chronic illness?
The things that I notice the most are just the variation in energy levels. And like some days I get up and I'm like, all right, let's go at it. Like yesterday, I think I did 6 or something hours on client work and just kept trucking through building stuff and making things. And I was just going to town.
The moon other was days in the right place or something yesterday.
Yeah, the sun and the moon and the stars and everything were
They aligned yesterday because I had a good day too.
Somebody was telling me it was like the moon or I don't know.
Mercury, I don't know. Mercury usually wrecks things. I don't know. I can't remember.
Yeah. So yeah, yesterday I was great, and then like other days I'll sit down and try to work, and I just can't connect dots in my brain, and things just don't work, and it's like trudging through mud.
Yeah.
And I'm like digging through my project management going, okay, what can I handle today? Because not this. I know this is supposed to be next up on the list of things we're doing, but nope, not today.
Do you have a way to list your projects and what you have by energy?
I actually was just chatting with ChatGPT about that this morning. And it was like, thanks, oh, your thing looks like it would be really great if you had like the spoons organized in there and you used the spoon theory. And I was like, that's right, the spoon theory. Okay. And it's like, yeah, you could put like tags in here and do that. So I started doing it and then I was like, this looks kind of cluttered. I think I'm going to have to revisit how I'm tagging it because all the little spoon icons, I had like spoon emojis, which I thought would be cute and fun and all that. But then I was like, this is starting to look really cluttered and I don't think I can do this. Like, I like how simple everything is. I wish there was
a third battery emoji. Because there's two. There's like an empty battery and there's a full battery. And I want there to be a third medium battery because I've thought about doing the same thing with emojis and I wanted to use the little batteries. But
batteries. I wish there was.
But yeah, there's only the two, just on a random side thought. I've been trying to I've been working on how I want to, make it look like that. But I have a general idea of the admin tasks that will take the least amount of effort, the creative tasks that will take the highest amount of effort. And I can stop and think okay, where am I at right now? And I always find that helps.
Something that I really need to do more of.
Yeah.
When I was having this discussion with ChatGPT, it was yes, you need to figure out how many spoons you have. And then, because at first it said something about spoons. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Spoons? Oh, spoon theory. And I'm like, oh, right. Okay. And then it's but you need to sit down and figure it out. And then you could filter your task list by this. And I'm like, that's genius. I love that idea.
Yeah, that is smart. That's what I've been working on a lot lately because there's always some of the tasks that are you have to do them right now because they're due, and it doesn't really care how much energy you have, and hopefully you haven't left it to that point, but it happens. But for the most part, nothing's really an emergency most of the time, so I have a general, I call it my menu of tasks. So I have my high energy tasks, my medium tasks, and
I the menu.
Yeah, so I can kind of pick and choose what I'm going to work on. I was talking to somebody else we were talking about schedules in the Discord group actually this week. And someone was saying that they theme their days, and I'm every time I've tried to theme my days, say, okay, Monday's going to be for blogging, and Tuesday's
Yes.
gonna be
I
for,
know where this is
you know,
going.
every time I wake up and I'm like, I have zero interest in doing that. I do not want to. And one of the biggest adaptations for me has been just learning to be like, okay, body, okay, brain, I hear you. I see what's happening. Like, we're not doing this today. I'm not going to try and force it because that's going to make me feel less well. I'm not going to try and like push through if my brain's not going to do it because it's not going to turn out well.
Oh yeah.
And those are like, that's the biggest adaptation that I've had to make in my business for sure.
I am really starting to realize that that is a thing, and that fighting through it, it just makes
Yeah.
me so miserable, and the
Yeah.
outcome is not good.
You can't fight
especially,
yourself.
especially with like tech, because
Yeah.
there's a lot of mental energy in like
So much.
how this happens and how these things connect and what do you have to remember to do and not do and all that. And so it's really crazy because I'll fight through a day like that and just do stuff anyway. And then the next day I'll come in with a fresh brain and I'm like, what in the heck was I thinking yesterday?
I do that
Why?
all the time.
Where, like, were
And
we
also,
drinking?
what did I do? I did what? I remember working all day yesterday, but what did I do?
What was actually accomplished and why did it take me that long to do that?
Yeah, why was I at my computer for 8 hours and like what was accomplished? That happens so often. For sure. All right. I want to talk about these content management systems. Sell me on it. Why do I need one of these? Why
Well,
is it
maybe
a
you
good
don't.
thing?
I mean, if it's
I mean,
working
maybe
for
I don't.
you.
So like, I mean, do I? Do I need one of these?
Well, what I find is that up to a point, a lot of people get by with Google system, like the Google environment, spreadsheets and copying and pasting emails in and all of those kinds of things. It's what I love about the CRMs at like Dubsado and Honeybook is that everything is in one place and you can automate the client experience so that when somebody fills out a lead capture form, they get an automated response with whatever it is that you want them to have at that point in the client experience. So it speeds up your response time. It makes it so you don't have to be like staring at your phone or like checking your email a bunch of times a day, which task switching is really mentally tiring.
Yes.
So I'm always trying to leave my phone in the other room for that reason. But it's really good to have everything in one place. And so when you can automate things and take that load off your brain so you don't have to remember the process, you've already mapped it out and set it up and told the system, okay, follow this checklist. And at this point, you know, whenever I send the proposal, if they don't respond within a day and complete the proposal, send a follow-up email and say, hey, just checking to make sure you got that proposal I sent over yesterday. Or a couple days later, following up again and being like, hey, here's some, I noticed you haven't, you know, filled out the proposal, no stress. Here's some questions that a lot of people are asking at this point, or a case study showing what one of my clients was able to accomplish by working with me, all these things. And it happens without me having to do it, or honestly, the ick factor, because I always, if I have to send those emails myself in the past, I think I'm better at it now, but I would just not love doing it. And so I would put it off and then not do it because I was like, I don't want to bother someone, but the truth is they probably just got busy doing other things and dealing with life and kids. And
this is something I've had to like, just like straight up accept. Like, I work with chronically ill and neurodivergent people. Chances are good we forgot. We got busy. We got distracted. Brain fog hit. I get it. And so like, I don't stress sending those reminders too much because I'm like, hey, did your brain do what our brains do and forget?
I love that. And you can put it in your emails that way
Yeah.
too, which is
Yeah, when you're like when you're
awesome.
working with people who this is just a normal thing. And I mean like fatigue and brain fog for chronically ill and neurodivergent people has got to be like one of the most common of all the symptoms because both of them are caused by just like fighting our bodies and our brains all day. And so it's pretty safe to assume they have it. So
I
okay.
also love that they both have scheduling functions
Yes.
so people can click links and book
Yes.
calls. But my favorite is putting boundaries around your time. And
Yeah.
so protecting those days where you really want to have focused
Mhm.
work time and not have client facing time.
So are they
Or,
both fairly easy to change your schedule?
yeah, they are. And what I usually tell people to do is like set a basic schedule. And then if you get up that morning and it's just not a good day, or maybe
Yeah.
not that morning, but if you're like, if it's Wednesday and you know Friday is just
Yeah.
not going to be a good
Already.
day
Yeah.
based on how things have been trending,
Yeah.
you can block Friday and be like, I need a mental health day
Yeah.
and not allow people to book calls on Friday or that sort of thing. So you can do a lot of fine tuning on your schedule using your phone calendar because
Um
they're connected.
do they I'm gonna ask you the questions as to whether they would work for me. I'm gonna figure out do they connect well with Google Calendar because that's where I have everything
Oh,
right
yeah,
now.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Both of them.
both of them.
Connect with Google Calendar, Apple Calendar, Outlook, all the things.
Okay. Um,
And they use Google Meet and Zoom, which
that
I'm
was the
thinking
next
of
thing.
switching to Google Meet, but
So they use Google Meet and Google Meet and Zoom. Um, does it have internal like recording features or anything like that?
um, Honeybook does
Oh,
with the Google Meet integration in there. And I want to say, like, if you're using Google Meet, I think the people with Subsado who use Google Meet like have it set up to
okay,
record and do all the tech.
okay. So
The
I
back
have
end.
a WordPress website. Does it integrate well with that?
Oh yeah, I used to have a WordPress website and it integrates with that. You can use like the links for the scheduler or the embed it right in.
So
So it's
yeah, so right
super
now I
easy.
use I use one that's called Qualander, but I might be switching to iCal. I'm exploring. I'm learning new things. I don't want to be. Um, but so it like embeds right into my into the web page with like a little calendar that they can, you know, straight up book from
Yep.
right there.
Yeah, same
Um,
thing.
yeah, so okay, cool. So
And you can
that's
integrate Google Calendar with your iCalendar. I have my Google Calendar connected to iCalendar.
so
So I use the native
I was
iPhone.
looking at them both briefly, and I think both of them I saw they don't have scheduling in the basic options. Was that a thing?
You know what? I'm not really good at the plans because I usually
Okay.
just say for Dubsado for sure, get the upper level plan so you have all the automations
Yeah.
because otherwise why would you?
Yeah. Well, so that's the
You might
thing
as well just
I
keep
was
everything
wondering as
where
I
it is.
was looking at both of them and with the lower cost plans, they did kind of seem a little like why would you? Because the things I'm
I mean, in
currently
my
using
opinion,
do
the
those.
automation is the game changer. I
Yeah.
mean,
And the automation
everything
is
all in one
both
place
in
is great, but the automation just does so much for you.
yeah, and the automation features are in the like pro level.
Yeah.
Tricky Dubsado and Honeybuck. I see what you're doing.
A lot of software companies actually do those kinds of
Oh,
things,
for
and it does
sure.
allow people to sort of get their toe in the water
Yeah.
and do a little bit of it and see if they like it without maybe using all the bells and whistles.
Yeah.
But yeah, the automation, in my opinion, is the reason to use it.
Yeah.
But if you just want to have a proposal with a contract and an invoice and
Yeah.
do
So,
that,
okay, so it has
so
the
then it wouldn't be.
scheduling proposals, like you can save templates in there?
Yeah, you can save proposal templates and packages and let people pick packages and add-ons and stuff.
Okay. Does it
And
function a
then
little bit at all, like, or at all like a shop page or a services page that they would like open it
you
and
can
pick?
put like a public proposal in there where people can book a
Oh,
service right
okay.
from your website or multiple services. I
Okay.
will say it's not like a digital products or
Okay.
a
Yeah.
that type of thing, but as
Yeah.
far as the like mini sessions or
Yeah.
um things where it would be possible or probable that someone would just go to the website and click and buy, they
Yeah.
could do that.
And so you can set it up so that once they click and they book or they buy, you can automate it to send the proposal, the contract, follow up emails. What else was
Yeah, you
there?
can actually have the proposal, contract, and invoice go like in one document for both Honeybook and Dubsado. Honeybook has something called a smart file, and you can do kind of more elaborate collections of pages if you wanted to have a
Okay.
lot of pages in your booking document. But I really love the proposal, contract, and invoice because it's just like boom, boom, boom.
Okay.
Some of us say, get paid in 5 minutes. That might be a little bit of a stretch, but
Yeah.
you can, if someone's really on it, they can do it pretty quickly and
That is
then
nice.
get started. And then the nice thing is you can have it automated where it sends over your onboarding documents or questionnaires. And those are templates that you can save too. So
And do both of these have templates and options like built into them that you can use and modify for yourself?
yeah, they do have templates. Both of them, both Honeybook and Dubsado, have templates that you can go in there and be like, I'm a wedding planner, and there's some wedding planner templates, or I'm a
Okay.
coach. There's coaching kind of things, or
Oh,
photographers and
nice.
different things. So there's several different industries represented in there, and
Cool. That's really good. Do you find the
yeah, and you can
templates are
also
good?
purchase. They're helpful. I've used them a lot of times. I
Yeah.
mean, you want to make them yours and
Yeah.
make your branding and your voice and all of those things, but they're a really
Oh,
good starting point
branding.
for a lot of people.
How is it for branding? Are you able to add your logo, your colors
Yeah, you can add your logo, your colors, your fonts.
for both?
Yeah, for both.
Neat.
I want to say, I know in Dubsado, you start getting into like some CSS coding, which
Oh,
is
that's
a
good to
little
know.
bit, you can find it online and it's
Yeah.
not that difficult, but I'm maybe
But
the wrong
if
person
it's
to say it's
another
not
thing
that
that you're gonna
difficult.
have to learn, it might be a thing that you'd not want to do
Yeah, I
so
mean, it's something
much.
I do standard on all of my projects that I
Yeah.
do for people just because like the fonts are important
Yeah.
for people's branding and
Yeah.
like the colors and everything. It's not so hard to do. Sometimes we just, instead of putting code in there, you can go to something like Canva and design pretty things and
Yeah.
upload them as images. And I've done that for people before too, where they had a pricing folio for a photographer and it was beautifully designed. And I was like, why am I going to go make my own thing up when you've already got this beautiful design?
Yeah.
And then we just put it in there and put the package elements and form elements around those things and
Yeah.
tie it all together with a few pieces of design work and make it look good. And
Neat. Um, what was I just thinking? Does either of them work like an email list?
Honeybook does. Dubsado very much wants you to work one-on-one with people, and so you can't send mass emails through Dubsado. You can email your client list in Honeybook.
Oh, okay.
I feel like I haven't done it enough. I haven't played around in there enough with the mass email thing. I don't think it's got the robustness of a like Flowdesk or ConvertKit where you can have sequences and nurture sequences and automation there. And from what I've seen and played with, it seems like it's more of a send an email to your list
Yeah.
kind of function. But for someone who just wants to let their clients know that they're offering an upcoming webinar, or we're having mini sessions or things like
Okay.
that, it's a really useful thing to be able to do
That's
that.
smart.
And if that's where you're at, I think it works really well.
Okay, so far it can replace my calendar system, but it can't really replace my email system.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really replace a website by any means, but it
No,
can
I think
add to the
definitely.
website for sure, which is
Mm-hmm.
nice. What else can you either integrate or get rid of because you're using one of these?
Well, like your DocuSign, if you're using e-signature tools,
Mm-hmm.
that you can get rid of. Google Forms, I guess, because forms are built in and you can
That's
build
nice.
forms inside of Dubsado. So,
Google
like if
Forms
you're,
did me dirty recently. They, for whatever reason, I don't know, they just wouldn't work. I had Google Forms set up on my website for my application form, and I had like three people, and they're like, it's not working. And I'm like, what do you mean it's Google? What do you mean it's
yeah,
not
that's
working?
odd. That
Right?
is pretty unusual for them.
I know, I thought it was very strange, but so that would be really nice to have that, like to have the
Yeah, I
forms.
mean, I know it's not a paid service for Google Forms.
Yeah,
Well, you're still going to keep your Google Workspace. So,
yeah. Yeah, my Google Documents and everything, like, it's not going to replace that for sure, but it's going to definitely replace some of the templates that I have saved in there, which would
I
be
think it's
nice.
more of along the lines of like a time savings with automating
Yeah.
the process that you're doing, and you're not having to physically go in and go send that reminder email or send payment reminders for your payment plans if they don't pay, or
The
it's
reminders
not
and
like
the follow
auto
ups.
payments.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The reminders and the follow ups. That's for sure the really useful thing.
Yeah, and the like appointment reminders and confirmations, and
Yeah.
people being able to go cancel the appointment and reschedule it if they need to, which I'm sure
Hmm.
you've experienced with your scheduler.
Yeah.
Is pretty awesome.
Yeah, most of the ones that I've used so far can. Um, but most of them you have to pay the extra for any kind of like follow ups or reminders or anything like that.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
okay. So that's most of the things I use, which is really nice.
Yeah.
Which one of those is your favorite to work with?
I actually really like them both. It just depends on the person and what is important to them and how they like the user experience of the software. There are things that each one does well and does not do well or doesn't have. And so we usually sit down and have a conversation about, what's important to you? How do you work? Do you have a team? Do you not have a team? Are you booking for you? Or are you booking for multiple appointments for different people? Things like that play a role in which tool I think is going to be the best fit.
Yeah.
Honeybook has text message reminders, and for some people, that's a really
Oh,
important
I like
thing.
that.
Yeah, and Dubsado currently doesn't have that. Honeybook has AI built in and some AI features, and that may or may not be something
Have
that
they been useful?
I haven't used them a lot, to be honest.
I I use chat a lot, like ChatGPT a lot, and I've had like good luck with that and like the fact that you can just like kind of have a conversation with it, and I use it a lot for like organizing thoughts and making lists and stuff like that. I have
Mm-hmm.
not had great luck with any of the AI features built into any other software that I've used.
I've had good luck with some things and not others. It really depends, I think. But um, since I've been building the systems and most of the AI features are directed at the person using the
Mm.
system, I haven't really used it because my system is set up in Dubsado. And I had at one point thought about adding a setup in Honeybook just so that people who booked me for HoneyBook could see the booking process in HoneyBook. But then I'm like, then I'm going to have clients in Dubsado and clients in HoneyBook, and I don't think that's a good idea.
You're just setting yourself
Like,
up to do like the opposite of what they're supposed to
not
do.
simple. This is more complicated, and I don't want more complicated.
Yeah, no.
But I really enjoy setting up things in HoneyBook, and there's a lot of things that I really love about it. I will say my least favorite thing in both of them actually is copying and pasting canned emails into it from like, because I usually write canned emails in a Google document, and copying and pasting canned emails into them makes me nuts. Like,
Does it reformat it?
It makes me crazy because I'm like, there should be a file upload feature. Like, I should be able to drop a CSV file in here and boom, 50 emails go into this software, like in seconds. That would be so fabulous.
Hey, Dubsado, HoneyBook, if you're listening.
That feature.
That seems like that would just make sense if that seems to be the thing you're doing often.
Yeah, and like, especially if you use ChatGPT to help you write your emails, you have to copy them into a Word document so that the HTML file, like the formatting, doesn't go with it, because it'll do funny things to your emails.
Where would you rate both of these on a difficulty level for someone who's maybe a beginner, who doesn't have a ton of tech experience, to set these up themselves? Like, how much are we going to want you to do it for us?
Well, I would love to say that you would have me do it for you, because it'd be way easier.
Be honest, like, for a beginner, like, are they fairly, like, I know that obviously it's easier to not have to learn something new, and that's fantastic, but like, what's the learning curve on them?
There is a learning curve. I'm not going to lie and say there's not a learning curve, because every time I turn over a software setup, we walk through like where everything is and how to do things and how to change their process from what they were doing to now this, because even though we build their process into their system, things have to change to work with automation. Usually they're not, almost no one is doing something in a way that it doesn't change at all with automation. Like, either and plus you have okay, instead of going into my email now, I'm going to go into my CRM and check in on the alerts and notifications that are in there. Or, various other things, but you're changing where things are and how they're done. So that's a learning curve.
A little bit of a routine thing.
Yeah. And depending on how comfortable you are with tech, it can be bigger or smaller. A lot of people pick it up pretty quickly. It's just a matter of getting in there every day. But I usually tell people, if you're feeling overwhelmed, let's start with a lead capture form and a fast follow-up. And that gets new leads coming into there. You can see them and manage them in there, and we can maybe add a couple follow-ups or things onto it as you get more comfortable with that. Or, you make it so you have to push a button for every email to go out for the first couple, so that you are okay with it and how it's operating.
So you don't have to you don't have to go all in right off the bat. You can build it up slowly, and it'll still be a useful thing for you for a while.
Yeah, I mean, even if you just had a lead capture form with a fast follow-up, and you built a proposal and put your contract in there and connected a payment processor, which I know I just rattled off a bunch of things. But I mean, even if you did that and you were just doing those things and everything else was just sending emails by yourself, that would be helpful. And then you could start adding more to it as you got used to it and got more familiar with where things are and how to do things. But that would have you in there every day, hopefully, looking at things.
Is one easier than the other to learn?
I mean, I think HoneyBook, the user experience in HoneyBook is a little bit better. But I've had people who have ADHD I showed them the back ends of both platforms, and they were like, that Dubsado, because
Yeah.
you can turn off all of the things. I think maybe if I would have turned off everything, because you can customize what you see
Yeah. Okay. That's
when you
nice.
land. And so, like, for some people, that's very visually like too much. But you can go in and go, okay, I don't want to see this, this, and that, and just show me
That's
these couple
good.
things. And that takes it down to a tolerable visual noise level.
That's perfect
Um,
because I do know that like a lot of people like myself included with ADHD, it's hard when you just like you're looking at a screen with too many different things. You don't know where to focus at once. It takes all your brain power to focus on the one thing you opened the screen to do.
yeah, you get in there and you're like, what was I even here for?
Every time I open a new screen, that is what I am like, why am I here? What was I doing? I opened this for a reason.
I came into this room for a reason.
Constantly all day. I personally like to see it as how I get all my steps in. When I
Well,
have
yeah,
to
that is
like,
a way to do it.
if you forget what you need 50 times a day and have to walk back and forth, you get a lot more steps in.
That I need to do that more than I guess, because I don't get nearly enough steps with the. I spend a lot of time at my desk, so.
It is probably one of the bigger downsides of being a cozy entrepreneur and working from home is that most of us do end up sitting at our desks a lot, but like I do love the freedom of being able to get up whenever I want. Like nobody's going to be checking where I am. I don't have to wait for break time or lunchtime and like
Or
cuz
if I
with
want to
my
go sit
body,
on the
yeah.
couch and wrap myself up in a
Yeah.
blanket and do my work, no one
Yes, to be
cares.
able to move from like my desk like over summer I've been working outside for the most part and I've been not wanting to come inside and so I've been doing that, or I can work in the living room or from bed if I have one of those days. Yeah. Having that kind of business is key for me for sure.
Mm-hmm. I agree 1,000%.
Yeah. Amy, thank you so much for coming and talking to us about Dubsado and Honeybook. Um, I don't know if they're going to be super important for me right now, but I'm definitely going to come and see you when I get more clients, and I'm going to actually need to have all of those things going through automating.
Well, I'd be happy to help you out with it.
Um, can you give us the little pitch on how we would work with you?
Absolutely. Well, like Randy said, if you don't want to figure this all out on your own and you'd love some help with putting the pieces together to automate your client experience, you can work with me to do a full setup. You can work with me where you do some of the setup and I help you with it. We plan it out. That's my done with you Dubsado feature or option. And then I also have just the strategy sessions where we sit down and plan your client experience together. So there's a few different
Nice.
options there. I love working with people and helping them sort out client experience and how to automate it. So I'd be happy to work with you.
What's your website?
And my website is Amy S. Gould, GOULD.com. That's my, it's not a maiden name because it's my first marriage. So from my previous marriage, that's my name. And I decided not to change the business because I'm
Work.
still working on changing my name
It's too much effort.
everywhere else. But amysgould.com. And then if you want to book a call to chat about working together, that's book-a-call.
And I think you have a YouTube as well if anybody's looking for some answers on some of these things.
I do. I'm actually blowing the dust off of it from the summer and going to be putting some more content out there very soon. So
Editing over the summer, it's not the vibe. It's not what I wanted to do. I get that. And do you use social media?
yeah, I'm on Instagram. It's Amy S. Pearson _. I don't know why that name was taken, but it was. So
I There's so
And
many
I'm
people
over
out
on
there.
Threads. I've been enjoying Threads. I love not having to come up with pictures and graphics and things. So
No, I love Threads right now. Honestly, like I think I'm jumping ship. I don't think I'm Instagramming as much anymore. I'm gonna like keep posting, I guess, but like it's just not. I'm not putting in the effort there anymore because it's just not given back to me the way that Threads has been. And I think I only keep Instagram now because I have people that I do connect with on there. And I like stories.
yeah,
So
I can't figure out stories. Like I never know what to put in stories. I'm
I
always
just put
like,
everything, like literally
I just want
anything,
a
and it's
story. But
usually
what am
me
I gonna
making a
story
funny
about?
face. Awesome. Amy, thank you so much for coming on and talking to us about all of this. I hope anybody needs some help with their Dubsado or Honeybook, they check Amy out with all of the links. I'll be dropping them all down below. Thank you again for watching our Cozy Little Chats podcast. We will be back next week with another video, and I will see you then. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thanks, Randy.